So I just want to thank everybody for joining us today, or folks who are going to be watching this back later. Um, my hope with creating this container and offering this space is to, just get together as a collective. There's been so much happening around the world that's been affecting each and every one of us in so many different ways. Um, and for me, I know that getting through these tough moments, I found a lot of ease and comfort within community. So again, this is the reason I wanted to create this container. Um, I'll start off with an introduction. I know I see some familiar names and familiar faces in here. Hello, and hello to the new folks who are joining us. I really appreciate, again, everybody's time. Thank you for taking time out of your Sunday afternoon. This is like a sacred day. So gratitude. My name is Lindsay Ayala. A lot of folks probably know me from through Bread and Butter. Um, I'm probably best known for my work in psychedelic and cannabis education, as well as curanderismo and shamanistic practices. I've been on this path since I was a child, but really taking it more seriously and doing community work for the last 14 years. Um, with Bread and Butter, we turned 9 this year, so it's been quite a journey. But I've found through these last 9 years that working in these sort of, again, like sacred containers is really what lights me up, lights my heart up. I've found the most movement and just healing in these sorts of spaces. So I've been dedicating a lot of my time to this over the last few years. This is the first ceremony I've held in quite some time. I just had a baby 5 months ago. So I'm starting to slowly ease my way back into like community work and just like being out in the world. Because again, things have been crazy. I'm a highly sensitive person. And I've just been, going through the motions just like everyone else. Um, so I wanted to focus today on Susto and soul retrieval. Since 2018, I've been working with an amazing maestra. Her name is Irma, Turtle Woman Star Spirit. I've been taking a practice called Medicine Way. It's a shamanic practice, learning different tools and modalities to help us heal on through different lifetimes, different dimensions, from our past lives to our childhood lives, and even able to project a bit forward. And something that has resonated with me the most for the last few years has been soul retrieval. So as again, like going back to what's been happening in the world through Palestine and Sudan and Congo and Hawaii and Puerto Rico, and even just living in Brooklyn. I'm a child who grew up in the Bronx and the projects, so witnessing all the things that I have throughout my lifetime. There's this saying that we have in Latino cultures called, she has susto, like you're holding this fear inside of you, whether it's a trauma that has happened to you directly, or it's something that you've witnessed from someone else, or it's something that you've come into this lifetime with. I know many of us have different fears or superstitions or whatever, these unexplainable fears that we come into this life with. Those are sustos that we carry from our past lives. So susto is when we, again, like experience or witness a trauma happening. A piece of our soul is left in that moment. And when we translate that to shamanistic practices and curanderismo, we call that soul loss. So every time these things happen, we can lose a little bit of ourselves. Sometimes a lot of our traumas can take us back to, well, I can use myself as an example. I had a really rough childhood, a really rough upbringing. And I noticed that when those parts of me are triggered, I go back to that 11-year-old self. I go back to that 15-year-old self, because those are the moments throughout my life where I've lost a piece of myself. So there's this like gap, there's this piece that's missing, and it's totally normal. It's a part of our human experience. And I really believe that, I believe in reincarnation. I believe that as souls, we choose to come back to Earth. We come back to Earth School to try and retrieve these parts from our past selves and learn how to retrieve these parts from our younger selves. So soul retrieval has been super pivotal for me. It's been a practice that I continue going back to, specifically now that I've become a mom and I'm going into this new phase of my life, and being faced with, re-examining my childhood, re-examining, parts of myself that I've left in that, 11-year-old self, 15-year-old self, 9-year-old self, I've been revisiting this practice a lot to try and recollect those parts of ourselves. And I feel that with all of these traumas that are happening in the world right now, all of this heartbreak that's happening in the world right now, each of us are being triggered in really unique ways. Collectively, we're being triggered. Collectively, we're again all feeling this. There are some folks who are, there's everybody, this folks on the spectrum of feelings with what's happening. But I believe that everyone is truly being triggered in some way. And even if we are not feeling specifically certain things, we are mirrors of each other. So something is being kicked up. So whatever this practice calls out for you, honor that. We're going to go through a couple different movements today. We're going to start with some breath work. We're going to do an energy clearing just to sort of get the excess energy out from the week, from the last year, from the last day, from last night, wherever you're coming from, whatever energy you're walking into with today, we're going to clear some energy. And this is a practice that I do pretty often as a part of my what I call spiritual hygiene. At least once a week, I try and do these energy clearings. So we're going to walk through an energy clearing. We're going to do a couple breathwork practices to ground, to really balance the masculine and feminine sides of our energy. And then we're, of course, going to sit through a guided meditation for soul retrieval. And then we're going to have sort of an integration conversation, a little bit of a journal practice, and then a really nice grounding closing. I'm going to be checking my notes because I will be talking and just going on tangents. Um, okay, so again, I sent, for folks who just joined, I just sent a link. I'm going to send it again. If you'd like to have some background sound, this is a root chakra grounding energy. A lot of what we're going to be doing is going to be taking place in this upper chakras, like traveling into the astral, traveling to past lives, traveling to early childhood, wherever in your life, we're traveling out of this physical body. So this sound is going to help to call you back in. And when we go into the meditation, I'll be sending you a drumming sound so that you can really get deeper into the meditation. So does everybody have maybe an egg or a plant, something of that sort? All right, cool. So if you don't have it, I'll give you a moment to go grab that. So again, before we go into this soul retrieval practice, we're going to remove this excess energy. And this is a practice, again, that I do quite often. As a sensitive person, an empathic person, I can and I do often collect a lot of other people's energy. So this is something that I do to just routinely cleanse my aura, my energy field. So I brought an egg because something that I work with quite often. We're not going to talk about reading eggs today. That would be like a whole other 2 hour thing. But I will talk about how to dispose of all of these things, whether it's an egg or a plant, after we go through the cleansing. So if you have your plants or your any item, if you have like an incense or a palo santo or sage, you can cleanse your item. Or even if you have a candle, always got a little candle going, you can also activate that energy of fire. And when you're ready, take your time. Give everybody another moment or so. Okay, so when you're ready, you can take your item and hold it at heart center. And just close your eyes, taking a couple deep breaths, connecting with this item that you chose. And as we breathe, we're setting an intention to activate the ashe in this living thing, to ask it to remove any worry, stress, anxiety, stagnancy, anger, upset, looping thoughts, sadness, feeling cloudy in your mind, feeling heavy emotions, heartbreak, heaviness, etc. Take a moment to breathe into this item and ask it to remove anything like mal de ojo, or even asking it to remove things that we might forget or things that we may not even realize are within our aura field. Really connecting with this item that you chose. And when you feel ready, you can take your item and blow into it 3 times. So with this item, you are going to quite literally cleanse your body. So for example, I have this egg. If you have a plant, anything, you want to start at your crown and you're going to really like cleanse. And the key is once you go down with this item, you can't go back up. So really take your time. Think about the places in your body where you collect a lot of energy. For me, that's like the nuka area, like the lower skull, neck area, my eyes, maybe your throat, your heart for sure. Spend some time on your heart. If you need to stand, I'm gonna give at least 5 minutes for this because you really wanna you're literally cleansing your body. And don't forget the bottoms of your feet. If you are a person who's dealing with intense feelings of anger, spend a little more time over your liver. If you're a very sensitive person, spend a little more time over your lung space and your chest space. If you're feeling a little less connected to your intuition, spend more time around your sacral and belly area. Give everybody another couple moments. Okay, so again, we're not going to be reading these things yet. Maybe in a future workshop we'll be able to do that. But the whole point is that this item that you chose is capturing that excess energy for you. You created this bond, you created this relationship in that moment through breath, through setting that intention. So, what I usually do is I have a napkin here. I'm going to put my egg, or if you have a plant, and just leave it off to the side for right now. Um, Trust that as we're moving through this workshop, this item is continuing to collect this excess energy from you, even if it's not physically on your body at the moment, it's right near you. So this bond and this flow is continuing to happen. At the end of the workshop, you can, I would dispose of it outside of your home because you don't want that energy lying around in your space. Um, if you're able to get to a four-way intersection to leave it at a trash can there, amazing. If not, you can go up the block to the corner and throw it away there. Just as long as it's away from your home, you want to release it back. It is a natural item, so it's not going to be something that's sticking around for too long. The whole idea is that the earth is receiving that and sort of neutralizing that energy for you. It's taking all of that away from us. So what I want to do right now is just do a little bit of grounding breath work. We're going to take a break in a couple moments just to get water, journals, anything extra you might need. But right now I just want to tune in real quick. I started talking real quick. I was a little bit like, oh. So this breath work is as much for me as it is everybody. So we'll start with, it's called a box breath work. So wherever you are in your breath right now, just exhale fully, visualizing that you're really squeezing all the air out of your lungs, and pausing for a count of 1, 2, 3, slowly inhaling through your nose. And as you inhale, allowing your belly to fill your side body, feeling that breath pull up into your chest, and holding for 1, 2, 3, exhaling through your mouth slowly. Again, visualizing that all the air is coming out of your lungs, squeezing out of your lungs, and pausing for 1, 2, 3, and inhaling through your nose. Holding for 1, 2, 3. Exhaling all your air out, feeling your connection to your seat, to the ground. Holding for 1, 2, 3. And with this breath, we're elongating our spines, reaching our crown upwards as we inhale, allowing for more space to be created in our lungs area. And holding for 1, 2, 3. Again, exhaling, feeling that connection in your seat. Holding for 1, 2, 3. Inhaling and elongating that spine again. 1, 2, 3. Exhaling. And taking a couple more of these breaths at your own pace. The whole idea is that you're feeling the cyclical energy, your connection to earth, connection through your seat, and elongating, feeling your connection to the celestial world. Giving yourself 3 more rounds of this breath. Okay. And the final inhale and exhale. I really love doing this practice, even in the virtual space, because not only are we creating this sacred container within our own little squares and bubbles, we're also creating the sacred container with each other. So we really just opened up this portal just now. So I hope you feel more grounded right now, a little more at ease, a little more present, especially after doing the energy removal. So we're going to move into the soul retrieval meditation. We're going to start that at 12:40. It's 12:36 right now. So you have 4 or 5 minutes to get cozy. This is a practice that you can do sitting up, lying down, wherever you feel the most comfortable and wherever you feel that you can journey, and really allow yourself to sort of just let go. Um, so, however that feels good for you, I definitely suggest grabbing a journal, something to write with, and some water because after we come out of the meditation, hydration is going to be key for sure. Um, yeah, or take a little bio break. So I'll see y'all in just a few moments, okay? Okay, so for the couple folks that just joined us, I am sending over in our chat the drum sounds for you can follow along with the journey. You can play this in it's a YouTube video, so you can play this alongside hearing my voice. Excuse me. Oh, you can most definitely use Hape if there's any sort of sacred earth medicine that anyone would like to sit with at this moment. We can definitely open some space and time for that as well. Um, Also, if there are any ceremonial tools that you'd like to bring with you, whether that's crystals or plants or anything, I definitely invite you to bring that along with you on this journey. And again, for the folks who just joined us, we are moving into the soul retrieval guided meditation. So, however you feel the most comfortable, if that's sitting down, lying down, um, however you feel more comfortable that you can really like journey and let go, I invite you to get cozy. Give a couple more minutes for everyone to come back. So I'm gonna be sharing my screen. You can see my like 1,000 tabs that are open. Okay. This is just to have something to, in case you come out of the meditation, or if you're a person like myself who really gets entranced watching a fire. This is the video that I sent to you all as well. Um, so if you'd like to start, I don't know if you all can hear my drums, but you can hear me. Give me a thumbs up if you can still hear me. All right, cool. Just because I want to be able to hear the sounds in the background a little bit as well. Um, okay, so getting comfortable wherever it is that you're going to be journeying. Taking a couple deep breaths. Thank you. I'll make sure to put my volume up. Okay. So in this moment, we are closing our eyes, tuning into your breath. And as we breathe, let us remember the many indigenous communities that call upon the medicine of community gathering and sharing energy. This ancestral medicine that allows us to come back to our heart space and to our truth. The medicine of community love is like a divine mother. It's very nourishing and very rich. Let us give thanks to the element of earth for allowing us to have stability and foundations, for structure and nourishment. Thank you for allowing us to rest our roots and for exploring the darkness and shadow work, for it is through this exploration that we allow ourselves to move closer and closer towards the light. We give thanks to the element of water for its fluidity, connection, and creativity. Thank you for allowing us to swim in the unlimited possibilities of creation, finding the wisdom and the stillness in the waters of change, and allowing us the grace to maneuver and to trust. Thank you to the element of fire for passion, strength, courage, and transformation. Thank you for allowing us to experience physical, emotional, and mental transformations so that we may transcend to the spiritual body. Thank you to the element of air for openness, vulnerability, trust, and acceptance. As we take a deep breath together, feeling it nourish every cell in our body, and as we exhale, finding all the space that is created. It is through that space that we can spread our wings and take flight. We take flight into the aspirations that we have for our highest selves, knowing that those intentions will take us closer to the mission we have come to complete in the here and now. Thank you to the essence and medicine from each of you for joining today. Your ashe, your time contribution brings out the courage and strength from each of us to dive in and retrieve the missing pieces to complete us, giving us compassionate eyes and deep trust in our intuition. May this medicine bring us closer to ourselves as we heal in community, closer to our true selves and to your heart. Thank you to my elders and to my teachers for sharing their wisdom with me so that I may be able to share this with all of you. And thank you to each of you for being here, for showing up to do this work. I am humbled by your trust, and I'm grateful for your time. Ashe. Continuing to keep our eyes closed, breathing in through your nose and out through your nose, becoming aware of the energy around you and the energy within you. Relax into the space that is supporting your journey and remember your intention. Telling your space and the universe what your intention is for journeying today. Become aware of the feelings and physical sensations in your body. Notice how your body feels in your seat or how your back feels as you're lying down. How your feet feel, how your seat or your back feels on the surface of the floor or chair or bed. Feel where your arms and hands are resting. Feel their weight. Notice how your head your shoulders and neck feel, your jaw, your ears, all the tiny muscles around your eyes, how the top of your head feels. You may notice the various sounds in the environment or catch a scent of different herbs in the air or smells from home. Notice all the sensations that you're experiencing, hearing, smelling, feeling, tasting. And realize how these feelings and sensations may change or alter from second to second, from minute to minute, from hour to hour, and yet you remain. And now contemplate the emotions, if any, which you are experiencing right now, and notice their quality. And realize how these emotions may alter from minute to minute, from hour to hour, from day to day, and yet you remain. And now contemplate any thoughts and ideas that are occurring in your mind. Random thoughts as they ebb and flow, not focusing on any of them, but just being aware. And realize how this continuous flow of thoughts may alter from moment to moment, from hour to hour, from day to day, month to month, and yet you remain. Your feelings, sensations, emotions, and thoughts are only a part of you. Your core is distinct from all of these, separate and yet still a part of you. You are like a vast blue sea, and your feelings, sensations, emotions, and thoughts are the fish and the animals who swim through that sea. The sea includes them, they are a part of the sea, and yet the sea is distinct from them, and the sea itself remains. Let's start by counting slowly from 1 to 10. With each number, you grow more and more relaxed. 1. Your eyes are relaxing as they remain closed. 2. Your body is loosening, becoming unstrung from the soles of your feet. 3. Up your legs and torso, resting and letting go of stress. 4. Your chest, back, shoulders, arms, hands, fingers relaxing. 5. Your neck, the back of your head, your ears, face, mouth, nose, and eyes releasing. 6. The crown of your head eases and loosens the muscles. 7. Your body is in a state of ease. And 8. You feel a comfortable, light, floating sensation. 9. You are in a trance state, weightless. 10. You feel light and you feel comfortable and safe. Continuing to breathe and feel into this softness. As you breathe, you begin to notice that the world around you is changing, and you step into an environment that makes you feel safe and peaceful. Imagine a garden or a meadow, a forest, or a green mountainside. Someplace that you remember, or a place that is new, that is showing itself to you. Experience the sights, maybe the sounds of animals or leaves in the wind. Notice any smells and how you are feeling. Stay here and just be. Just be until the scene feels very real to you. As you look around, you notice a path appearing in the short distance. You begin to follow this path. It takes you deeper into trance with every step that you take. The sights and sounds become more vivid. The smells are more pleasant. The feeling more comfortable. This is your dreamscape. Notice how your body feels while walking through this space. The peacefulness and the calm that it offers you. In the distance, you see some kind of structure. Maybe it's a tree house with a warm light above the door, in the center of a tree. As you walk closer to it, you notice that it feels safe, it feels inviting, and it feels sacred to you. As you walk closer, explore the environment around the structure. But do not go inside just yet. Just enjoy using all of your senses. Note what you see, what you hear, what you smell, and what you feel. When you feel ready, you can go ahead and open the door. And as you reach for the handle, notice what it looks like, how it feels in your hand, and how does the door look? How does the door feel? As you push open the door, you notice a figure sitting on a rocking chair. You walk closer to the figure and you notice that it is someone or something that you recognize and that you feel safe with. Your physical body feels calm and relaxed, and your heart is happy to see this figure. This figure represents an ancestor, a guardian angel, a spirit guide, your higher self, or a power animal that walks with you. Whoever it is, notice that they may feel familiar or new, Know that it feels loving and helpful and safe. Spend some time with this being and pay attention to how you feel, to what is said, and what is exchanged between you two. You have come here for a special purpose, to discover a part of your soul that was lost along the path of life. Perhaps a life lived before this present life, or while you were in your mother's womb. This knowledge exists deep within your soul, and you can retrieve whatever it is you need to know. You can learn what relevance this missing piece might have on your present life, what connections you might have with people in this life that came from a previous life, or maybe what karma is being balanced in this lifetime. Your guide is with you, making this a safe experience, no matter what may have happened before. Your guide shows you to another door inside of this space and tells you that the two of you will walk through the door together. As you open the door, you see a staircase leading down, and you begin your descent. As you descend down the stairs, you smell the earth, the soil, and its sweetness, and you continue to feel more calm as you feel Mother Earth and your spirit guide keeping you safe. You begin to notice a light shining from the next floor down, and you realize that you are getting close to your destination. Upon your last step, you discover a long, curving hall of doors. Each of the doors look different, some framed in dark wood, some in light or other materials. Some of the doors might be ornate, some plain. Some door frames are decorated or carved. There may be some doors that are oval, some rectangular, and some irregular shapes. Each one could appear different from the others, and this hall seems to curve on endlessly, perhaps in a spiral throughout the temple. As you walk past the doors, you know that behind them are different versions of yourself at different stages in your life. You might feel familiar energy just by standing in front of them, energy from your childhood or teenage years. And as you continue down the curving hall, you feel the older versions of yourself as you appeared in other lifetimes that you've experienced. You may find yourself being drawn to one particular door, whether it is ahead of you or one that is behind you. Take your time, and when you feel ready, you can approach it. Feeling the door handle, feeling the door. When you're ready, you can push open that door. On the other side of the door, you may experience yourself as you once were in your past, a younger version, or just a few years ago. Remember that your guardian and your guide are with you, making this visit safe. Remember your breath. You may feel a sense of time shifting as you visit your past. I invite you to observe yourself in this period of your life. Where was it? What period of life was this happening in? What age are you? Do you notice any distinctive memories or people? What are you wearing? You may look down and notice your feet. Are you barefoot or wearing shoes? What does the ground look like where you are standing? Know that the door, the portal, will remain where it is, like a lamppost, and will be easy to find when you are ready to leave. You may now wish to move further into this environment and explore. Notice what is around you. Can you tell what time period in your life you might be in? Perhaps noting the landscape or the decor. the structure of any buildings. What kind of clothes are you in? Do you see other people? Can you hear their voices? Can you hear what they are saying? How are you feeling physically? What is the temperature like? What is the weather like? Do you get a sense of your place in the environment? Notice if other people are present. Take a moment to sense into how you are feeling. What is occurring to you or around you? Be present if you feel safe and continue breathing. Notice any resonance between this experience in your past and how you feel in your current life. Taking note of how you feel, what you feel is yourself remembering. Where do you feel the remembrance in your body? Can you place your hands there or your thought energy there? Taking a few moments to continue and be here. Taking in the experience and the surroundings, taking in the details and subtleties, mentally recording so that you can access and reactivate this remembering later. Feeling deep gratitude and understanding, being present and allowing yourself to be strong and grounded, and breathing. Taking a moment to reorient and to remember where your portal is and locating your guide. Now looking back at your feet and becoming one with the moment you are in. Placing your hand on your heart and breathe. Now looking back to the door portal that you entered through and noticing your guide close by with a protective eye, continuing your deep breathing. When you are ready, you can make your way back towards the portal. Know that the memory of your experience is always there. You will find that you remember everything that has occurred on this journey. You may find that more information will come to you as you process and as you integrate the information to support. This information will support your wholeness and continued growth and healing. You move closer to the door. You step through the door and find yourself back in the long hall. Begin by thanking your guide, as they are the bridge between you and divine, thanking them for their guidance and protection. Know and trust that this guide is always there when you need them. for protection and for guidance and for remembrance. You may also wish to thank the part of yourself that you visited and for their presence in this journey. Reassure that part of you that they are remembered and that their experience is honored. You may retreat from this place, walking back down the hallway and up the stairs, smelling the earth and the soil, feeling the coolness in the air. Reaching the sacred tree house in its warm light. Once again, thanking your guide and perhaps sharing any last minute dialogue. Exiting the sacred tree house and making your way back down the path that you enjoyed earlier, passing the trees, the flowers, the scents and the sounds, making your way back into your outer world. You may, if you like, look back over your shoulder and see the sacred treehouse shimmering, remembering that this sacred space is always there and that you may come back at any time. The discovery of yourself is an endless adventure. Continuing down the path, as I count from 10 back to 1, you will feel more and more in your body, more aware of your physical world. 10, feeling relaxed and good. 9, sensation and feeling returning to your physical body. 8, feeling stronger and healthier. 7, beginning to slowly stretch your muscles, finding gentle movements. 6, feeling the vitality of your body through every fiber of your being. 5, feeling a sense of well-being and contentment. 4, you are feeling more alert. 3, movement is easy. 2, feeling mentally alert and refreshed. 1, your eyes are open and you feel well and rested. Placing your hands on your heart. Taking a breath and feeling the remembrance of pieces of your soul coming back to you. With your eyes closed, take a few long, deep breaths. And with every inhale, feel that part of yourself growing. And with every exhale, feel it settle deep in your bones. With every inhale, feel that part of yourself growing. And with every exhale, feel it settle deep in your bones. With every inhale, feel that part of yourself growing. And with every exhale, feel it settle deep in your bones. Do this as many times as you need. Take your time and feel wholeness flowing back into your body and into your soul. I know that some folks are still in the in-between space, but I want to give everyone a couple moments, at least I want to say until 1:40. So when you're ready, you can journal anything that you remember, key remembrances from your journey. Um, just write them down, things that you want to remember, like your guide, where you visited on your journey, and any key things that stood out just while they're fresh in your mind. Then you can revisit them later and start to add some more meat to the bones. So we'll meet back at 1:40, okay? Just giving one more minute to finish up any last minute thoughts in your journal. How is everybody feeling?
Girl, that's a loaded question at this moment. We got 2 more hours for this workshop. I mean,
Yeah, I feel that. It definitely can take us. Yeah. Okay, we got accomplished, feeling zen, feeling at peace, feeling tender. Yes, I understand that. Sure. Well, what's good about having this recording is that you can revisit this practice a couple times and see where else you land. Christina?
Yeah, no, I'm seeing the word tender going on in that chat. Also, that too for me. I have like a problem with falling asleep during these kinds of meditations. Um, but like also knowing that like my ears were probably still active and everything was probably still happening.
Mhm.
But feeling very like a very neutral charge, like not really going in any of my directions that all the doing or all of the like stagnant ones that it always wants to go to. I feel very, very like clear, like a clear, good neutral right now, which is
Awesome.
really a really enjoyable place to be. And also just like this past week, just this is just a really interesting time for me to be here with everyone doing this
Hmm.
work. Just kind of for me, I'm just curious to see like how it will keep developing, just with everything like the dreams and everything that's been going on.
Hmm.
Just thank you, and I'm really glad I was able to be here with everyone today.
Thank you. I'm glad you were able to be with us today, too. Something that you said is definitely true. Like, this is for all of us. This is something that's going to continue developing potential in the next couple days, couple weeks. I know for myself, a lot of it would come up in my dreams, and I'd be like, oh shit, I forgot that I had that conversation in this, guided meditation, this visualization. So if you're a person who's really connected to your dreams in that way, maybe keep your journal by your bedside, just so you can continue like fleshing out all of these things, because we were only in that meditation for 30, 40 minutes. But these are things that we've lived. So there definitely might be more information coming in, and more feelings of deeper peace and groundedness integrating coming forward. Jasmine?
Yeah. So I'm feeling a lot of emotions. Um, but at first I felt like surprisingly calm. Um, and then I felt really neutral, and then kind of angry as well.
Okay.
Yeah. But it also felt like a confirmation of like a lot of things that I questioned throughout like my whole. It felt like a coming home, most definitely. Yeah.
I think that anger is really important to sit with. I don't know if it was you I noticed reading or someone else reading a book on sacred rage or
Yeah.
yeah, that's something that I've been thinking a lot about these last couple weeks as well. And I think especially as feminine people or like women identifying folks, like we're often told to be like, no, no, you're fine, like kind of putting that rage to the side and not being allowed to fully express that. So I think that's interesting that that was something that came up for you. And you said that this kind of rang true for other moments of your life. So journaling could really be helpful. I think it's amazing that you're already reading this book. I think that there was no coincidence that your, guide and your intuition took you to a particular place in life. Um, yeah, and I definitely, if anybody that's here today, like if you want to continue talking with me, like afterwards, please feel free to email me. I'm happy to suggest other practices that that might come up that I can share to help like integrate further, especially with that sacred rage, because that's something I think that we, especially now, need to be feeling and experiencing and allowing it to come up and come out, however that feels good for you on a somatic level or conversational level. It's that's real deep medicine for sure. Thank you so much, Jasmine. Lauren,
Hi.
hi.
Um, I'm so happy to be here. I I've been following your work for a while and yeah, just really thankful to join with you all today. Um, and yeah, for me, I've done, journeying and I wasn't sure what would come up, but it was so clear, like the visuals I was having, the feelings in my body, and I'm Cuban on my mom's side, and I got to visit the island for the first time last year, and it was so clear that I was there, and um and yeah, like I started crying in the moment when in the rocking chair, and yeah, it was just like my relatives, like,
Hmm.
and it was so much, it was so beautiful, and so all of this emotion, sadness, this grief, um and then I just left, with a curiosity, um because I've started to connect, with family last year as well on the island at Miami, so it's really beautiful how it's like all coming together. But yeah, I left the meditation with that, like a longing, a sort of grief, but also like a curiosity, like what more I could explore um, in further meditations, or you know, even just meeting with family and like
Hmm.
uncovering things, because it's sort of been that way in my life too. So it was really powerful and beautiful. Yeah,
That is very beautiful.
thank
It's
you.
having that ancestral spirit come through. That's awesome. I'm so glad to hear
Hmm.
that.
Yeah.
Thank
Hmm.
you. I do want to
Thank you.
say thank you. I do want to say that, having done this practice in groups in the past, I've had conversations with people where they're like, I don't know, this, guide came up, but I don't know if I really feel connected to them, or there's a lot of questioning that starts to come up of the place that you intuitively went to, or maybe you were having a hard time connecting. Um, but be present with all of that. Sometimes, especially those thoughts of like, I don't know, like if that was really where I should have gone or where I really ended up, did I really need to go there? Was that guide really for me? It's like, yeah, like your mind isn't really making these things up. It kind of feels that way sometimes, especially with these guided meditations. It's like, are you my invisible make-believe friend? It's like, no. This person is there and you are creating this bridge, to connect and to allow yourself to see them with your mind's eye. There's no coincidence for all these things. It does, honestly, it does feel like you're tripping sometimes and you might question yourself, but I feel like the more that you lean into it, the more that you do these writing. I think the journaling process is really helpful to like make it more tangible, make it more real, especially when you're going back to specific times in your life. Think about the time that you went back to, or the place that you went back to, and who that guide was. There's definitely a connection there. So take some time, and journal about it, think about it, dream on it, give yourself a couple days. We've only been together for just about 2 hours, but how long did it take you to get here in your big age? Like 2 hours is nothing compared to where we are in our whole ass lives. So give yourself some grace, give yourself some time. And of course, like I said, you're going to have access to this meditation. So if you feel like you want to go back, I'm sure there are hella versions of these on YouTube or somewhere else, so you can access them too. If you're like, girl, I don't know, it wasn't really hitting the right way, you can access these in many different ways to feel like strengthening that muscle, strengthening that practice. So when maybe there's a version of dream bridging that comes, maybe this guide is contacting you in a dream or in a conversation that you're having with a stranger, with a friend, you're able to practice that trust muscle and know that these messages are coming through to you, for that moment, as medicine. Before we move on to a breathwork practice, I just want to open, for anybody else who'd like to share, have any questions or anything.
Um, so I really thought it was actually really perfect timing. I felt really when I completely forgot about this until that moment that I joined, and it felt, I had cleaned my room and everything before. It's just like a routine weekend that I do, and then I remembered, oh wait, I wanted to clean today, and the minute I joined, it was 5 people who were joining, and I was like, perfect, I'm ready,
Let me dive in.
and I wasn't even be here today, and something just deeply like told me to be here, and it was the kind of thing where I immediately was just dropped into this like space that I have been to in a dream recently, and a few weeks ago I think I dreamt of this space and I was just immediately put back there, and I didn't know where this space was like when I dreamt about it a few weeks ago, and all the feelings that you were talking, really comfortable there and happy and content. I felt the strong space, and it was so cool to that you were exploring this space before and just like going deeper into it, and then you went through those doors and etc. It was cool. I think it was Lauren, your comment or reflection about being in a place where you have been to before. Um, I was in back my origin, Colombia, and the journey took me to this really interesting memory, and like I could feel my feet being in my ancestral land. Um, I so much come up, but back then I was like I really didn't know much about myself, and now that I'm here, like journeying more through the visualization, I still feel the connection of my feet touching that land 4 years ago. I think it was about 4 years ago now. And just sort of feeling this strong grief as well that I have this super strong grief of not feeling connected to my roots and being here in the US and being in this modern world where I feel really kind of dissociated from and disconnected from nature. And so I just felt this really strong grief that to the point where you started telling us it was time to go back to the door, I just started crying, saying I didn't want to leave. Like, I just don't want to leave this connection to my ancestry, this connection to the land that I'm from, and this connection to nature, and kind of this world of ceremony and ritual, because that's what I was doing. I saw like women around a fire just like dancing and being in trance, and I was like, this is where I belong. Why do I have to go back to this day-to-day normal life? And I just started crying, and then you know, I like kind of got out of it, and I told myself it's okay, like I have to come back here. I have to come back to this modern version of myself, and that it's okay. I will always be connected to those roots. So thank you for, you know, that journey, and for just remembering that, or reminding me that I am always going to be connected to that part of myself, even if it doesn't feel like, you know, in this day-to-day modern world that I am connected to it. It's always there. So very powerful, and appreciate it.
Thank you so much for sharing that. I feel like I see a lot of nods and just like people connecting with everything that you just said. Um, yeah, there's, you know, also a reason that I wanted to do this particular ceremony on this particular day. Astrologically, the moon is in Pisces already, although the sun meets Pisces tomorrow. That is a sign taking us deeply into our connection to our ancestors. Pisces is ruled by the feet, and that's why I was so heavy on, you know, look at your feet. Where are you? Where are you planted? Are you feeling the connection? So I'm really glad that that resonated with you in that way of feeling connected to home, feeling connected to your ancestors, to your roots, and to your, you know, your heart source. So thank you so much for sharing that. I appreciate you. Thank you. I'm getting a couple questions asking about the best place to release the tool that we use for our cleansing. And if you are able to like leave it by a tree or in a park, that's like optimal. Um, I live in the middle of Bushwick, so you know, I don't know how accessible, you know, nature is to everyone that's here. So do the best that you can. But yes, if you're able to go to a park or a backyard, or, you know, maybe you're picking up like some dog poop and you're planting like an egg or a plant that you just did your energy cleanse with, like however that works for you. I do feel that, you know, being able to release it back to earth is definitely like, you know, the way to go. Thank you. I'm really glad that this was, seems like people journeyed to some places. I'm looking forward to hearing more about that. Um, but if there's nobody else that wants to share, we'll move into Janice. Yeah, please.
Yes, thank you. Thank you so
Thank you.
much. Thank you everyone for being so vulnerable in your shares. That creates such a beautiful moment for me to also feel like um this kind of vocabulary, this kind of shared vocabulary that isn't taught in schools, that maybe we don't learn from our own families or even our closest friends, right? But this is vocabulary that we're learning together so that we don't feel so much on the outskirts, right? We're always so marginalized by the outside. This helps bring us in this fusion, right? This beautiful fusion. And I I'm always very resistant to being quiet. Like in my brain is the monkey on the brain. My heart is like I'm always planning in silence, and I had like it was so it's like the struggle was real. And then finally I felt myself give in. Like it was just like, and there was a moment I think where you mentioned I was already in the happy place. And it's my happy place is always in some woods or the forest, because that's where we used to go when I was a kid. My dad used to take us, like, it was my fresh air fun moment, like a week out into camping, and um it was fantastic. And I always go to this one camping spot back in my mind that had this huge boulder in it, and it always felt so beautiful. And there was one moment where you asked us to release something. I don't know anymore. I don't know if it's you said it or somebody else said it, but um I automatically felt like I couldn't breathe anymore, and I started choking. And my body was relaxed, and it's because I know it's because I feel stuck and snappy in my voice, especially like not knowing what to say, how to say it, the anger, the fear getting stuck in my throat, um just that collective grief, from seeing constant, like dead bodies, and people crying, and I feel like I collect that right here. And all this just coughing happened, and I needed to get it out. So physically, like, my body, I just was really cognizant of how where my body was holding all of that. um
Mm-hmm.
if I were to trace it back, this is like all that entire area is where I usually get my back spasms, right where my throat, or that usually gets caught. um so that was, that it reminds me, like, where am I absorbing, and where am I putting all this, my day to day, and
Right.
um where it needs to be released. I don't know, that was so poignant, and I really appreciate this space that you always create in such beautiful ways, so I can safely experience this with y'all.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Well, that's like a great segue actually into this breathwork practice because all of us, like naturally, a part of the whole experience of Susto is trapping these feelings in our bodies. And we all trap these feelings in different places and experience them on a somatic level. For Janice, like you said, it's your neck, it's the back of your neck where you experience spasms. For me, it's often here, like in my traps area or in my belly. Um, there are like psychosomatic reasons for these things, which I could get into. I can say that, any feelings with like asthma, respiratory sickness, that's like a sense of fear that's being trapped in the body. When you have lots of pain here, like I had explained, that I mentioned that I feel, it's sometimes that you're not expressing yourself enough. Any feelings with the upper neck and upper shoulders area, we're not allowing ourselves to speak our truth. Any feelings in your lower back where like your sides, like where your liver, my liver, your kidneys, that is unexpressed anger that you might also feel in your stomach. You might have like GI issues or, a hot belly. Like those are all unexpressed anger emotions. I could go on and on, but all of us experience these trapped emotions in lots of different ways. One of my favorite ways to access that is through breath work because it's something that we do naturally, we do without thinking, and it's one of the most powerful tools that we have to move emotion up and out of our bodies. It's one of the most easily accessible ways. It's free. You could do it anywhere, anytime. I don't even know how many times I have sessions or I'm going in to have intense conversations or whatever. And I'm like, I just need a moment. And I am like, for sure, doing some breath work to, release some space or just get grounded back into my body. A lot of us live up here, especially when we're on screens all day and we're, as Janice mentioned, like seeing all these horrific things in real time on our phones 24/7. It's a part of conversation constantly lately. Like it's hard to not be up here. So having this moment of breath work allows us to drop back into this physical temple, see where that fear is residing in your body, and just allow it to come up and come out. So one of my favorite practices is called Nari Shorona. So what you do, I'm gonna show it to you. I'm a little bit congested, so I'm gonna explain it because I probably can't do it that well right now. I'm breathing in better on one side than the other. But you want to take your these three fingers And you're going to place them, your middle finger and your index finger on your right side. And then you're going to press your thumb on your left side. You're not going to hold it close so that you can't breathe, but you're going to like gently do a little like, you know? So, so starting with your right side, you're going to close your nostril on your left side, closing your eyes and allowing yourself to breathe in slowly through your right nostril, closing your mouth. And when you feel at the top of your breath, hold it for a moment, pinching off your nose, releasing the left side, and exhaling out through your left. Then pinching off your nose at the end of the breath, re-releasing that left side and inhaling through your left. Pinching off your nose at the end of that breath, exhaling through your right nostril. Pinching off at the end of that breath, and then again breathing in through your right side. Pinching your nose, exiting through the left. Pinching again, and then inhaling again. Pinching and exhaling on the right. So doing this cycle a couple times. This practice of Nadi Shodhana allows us to balance our left and right sides, or feminine and masculine side, just to help us be present in our bodies. So I'll give you a couple moments to do this at least 3 or 4 more times. This is definitely a great practice if you're starting to feel a little bit out of body, if you're trying to slow down intense or looping thoughts. This helps you come right back, because you gotta focus on something. You're like breathing in through one side, holding, breathing out the other side, holding. So it gives you something to focus on other than thoughts, ripping and running through your mind. So a couple more breaths in this practice. Okay, so when we're ready with that, we're going to meet with our hands at heart center. So we're going to do a little self Reiki. You don't really need to be, I feel, you don't really need to be Reiki certified to give yourself some self Reiki, some self love. We all have access to this divine energy. So taking a deep breath, just start to create some friction with your palms. When you feel really, really charged up, you can move your hands about an inch apart. And you can feel that tingling sensation in between your hands. You can kind of manipulate that energy by going a bit further, a bit closer. It's like the raised ball of like love energy. So again, activating that life force energy. So in this moment, I want you to place your hands where you felt the most contraction during this experience, or maybe where you're feeling that kind of somatic energy trapped in your body, normally on the day to day, or again after this guided meditation, and feeling that light energy being transferred into your physical body. Remembering that we are all children of the divine. We are all able to access that life force energy. It is our birthright. And breathing into that space. If you need a little recharge, by all means. If there's multiple places in your body that you're feeling those contractions, take a couple moments. Sending your breath to those spaces. Visualizing your breath as this light activating any shadow, dusty corners in our bodies. And our exhale is allowing that to exit our physical temple. So one more time, activating that life force energy, but instead of placing that on our physical bodies, facing your hands outwards, sending that divine golden light to all the oppressed peoples, to those peoples, whether they be in our life, the people that we share this earth with. There are very particular people in mind, or just on a collective energetic level, sending love, sending light. Thank you so much, everybody. I hope that this served you all in some way today. Again, please reach out to me if you have any questions. If you want to talk about this and a group setting isn't your thing, we could schedule, a short one-on-one. Like, I'm here to help. And yeah, thank you again. I hope that you have a great week. And for sure, this energetic practice with all the shit that we have going on, grab an egg, grab a plant, at least once a week, once a month, cleanse your physical space. Or even if this like self Reiki feels good to you, we're carrying so much right now. So allow yourself to transmute that energy. A lot of it is not only ours to hold, and the things that are, sometimes they just need to go. So, just breathe it out, let things go that are able to, and just finding moments to be present and to be in deep gratitude. So thank y'all so much. Have a great week. And
Thank you.
yes,
Nice to meet
Thank you so
you.
much.
nice to meet you all too.
Gracias.
Thank
Bye.
you. Thank you.
Thank
Ciao,
you.
ciao.